Building unstoppable confidence. A journey to a no-excuses attitude. Imagine waking up every morning, feeling invincible and ready to take on the day. You tackle challenges head-on, never letting fear or doubt hold you back. This isn't just a dream. It's a reality for individuals who've cultivated a no-excuses attitude. Today, we are going to explore the journey to building unstoppable confidence and how it can transform your life. Meet Sarah, a young entrepreneur who was once held back by self-doubt. She had a brilliant business idea, but her inner voice kept whispering that she wasn't good enough. She'd hesitate to take risks, fearing failure. However, one day, Sarah stumbled upon a quote that changed everything. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. This simple yet powerful message resonated with her, and she decided to take action. Sarah began by reframing her mindset. She started to see challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than threats to her ego. She practiced positive self-talk, repeating affirmations to boost her confidence. With each small victory, her momentum grew, and she started to believe in herself. The no-excuses attitude wasn't just a mindset. It was a muscle that Sarah was training every day. As Sarah's confidence grew, so did her willingness to take risks. She started to pursue her business idea with reckless abandon, embracing the unknown and learning from her mistakes. She surrounded herself with people who believed in her, and together, they fueled each other's growth. The no-excuses attitude wasn't just about achieving success, it was about enjoying the journey. But what sets apart individuals who possess a no-excuses attitude from those who don't? Research suggests that it's not just about personality traits or innate abilities. It's about developing a growth mindset, which allows you to view challenges as opportunities for growth. When you adopt a growth mindset, you begin to see that your abilities can be developed through effort and learning. One of the key characteristics of individuals with a no-excuses attitude is their ability to reframe failure. They don't see failure as a reflection of their worth or abilities. Instead, they view it as a stepping stone to success. They learn from their mistakes and use them as opportunities to grow and improve. This mindset allows them to take risks, experiment, and innovate, which is essential for achieving greatness. So, how can you cultivate a no-excuses attitude? It starts with self-awareness. You need to understand your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and how they're holding you back. Once you're aware of your limitations, you can begin to work on building your confidence. This might involve setting achievable goals, practicing positive self-talk, and surrounding yourself with supportive people. Another key aspect of building a no-excuses attitude is developing resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and failures. When you're resilient, you're not deterred by obstacles. Instead, you see them as challenges to be overcome. You learn to adapt, to pivot, and to find new solutions to problems. Resilience is essential for achieving success, and it's a quality that can be developed through practice and experience. As Sarah continued on her journey, she faced numerous challenges. She encountered setbacks, rejections, and disappointments. However, she never let these obstacles hold her back. She persisted, using each failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. And when she finally achieved her goals, she felt an overwhelming sense of pride and accomplishment. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of a no-excuses attitude. It's a reminder that we all have the potential to achieve greatness, regardless of our background or circumstance. With the right mindset and a willingness to take risks, we can overcome any obstacle and achieve our goals. But how do you maintain a no-excuses attitude when things get tough? It's easy to let fear and doubt creep in, especially when faced with uncertainty. However, individuals with a no-excuses attitude don't let fear hold them back. Instead, they use it as a catalyst for growth. They ask themselves, what's the worst that could happen? And then take action anyway. So, what's the secret to building unstoppable confidence? It's not a magic formula or a quick fix. It's a journey that requires effort, dedication, and perseverance. It's a mindset that's developed through practice, experience, and self-awareness. When you cultivate a no-excuses attitude, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. You become unstoppable. And that's exactly what we are going to explore in the next section of our journey. We'll delve into the specific strategies and techniques that will help you build a no-excuses attitude, and how you can apply them to your life. But for now, let's leave you with a question. What's holding you back from achieving your goals? Is it fear, doubt, or something else? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation. As we move forward on this journey, remember that building unstoppable confidence is a journey, not a destination. It's a mindset that requires constant practice and refinement. But with the right approach, you can develop a no excuses attitude that'll propel you towards success. Stay tuned for the next section, where we'll explore the specific strategies and techniques that'll help you achieve your goals. As a child, Sarah had always been fascinated by her grandfather's stories about the great explorers of the past. He'd tell her about how they braved the unknown, conquered fear, and pushed beyond their limits to achieve the impossible. And yet, as she grew older, Sarah began to realize that she was the one who was truly living in a state of exploration, not of the physical world, but of her own potential. Every morning, she'd wake up feeling like she was staring down the barrel of a daunting challenge. The world seemed to be moving faster than her, and she felt like she was stuck in a never-ending loop of excuses and justifications. "I'm too tired," she'd tell herself. "I'm not good enough." But deep down, she knew that these were just stories she was telling herself. Stories that were holding her back from reaching her true potential. It was then that Sarah stumbled upon a phrase that would change her life forever: no excuses attitude. At first, it seemed like just another buzzword or motivational phrase, but as she delved deeper into its meaning, she began to realize that it was a mindset, a way of living that was all about embracing challenges, taking risks, and pushing beyond her comfort zone. Sarah started small, making tiny adjustments to her daily routine. She began waking up 15 minutes earlier each day, using the extra time to meditate and set intentions for the day ahead. She started taking the stairs instead of the elevator, and walked to work instead of driving. It was amazing how these small changes added up, giving her a sense of momentum and purpose that she'd never felt before. But it wasn't until she faced her biggest fear, public speaking, that Sarah truly began to understand the power of a no excuses attitude. She'd always been afraid of speaking in front of a crowd, but she knew that it was an essential skill for her career advancement. So, she signed up for a public speaking course, determined to face her fears head-on. The first few sessions were a disaster. Sarah's voice shook, her words stumbled, and she felt like she was going to pass out from anxiety. But she didn't give up. Instead, she used each failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. She practiced every day, honing her skills and building her confidence. And slowly but surely, she began to see results. By the end of the course, Sarah was speaking with ease, her voice clear and confident. She'd faced her fears, and in doing so, she'd discovered a newfound sense of courage and resilience. And that's when it hit her. This wasn't just about public speaking, it was about living a life without excuses. A life where she was the one in control, not her fears or doubts. As Sarah looked back on her journey, she realized that it had been a series of small, incremental changes that had led her to this moment. She'd taken tiny steps towards her goal, and with each step, she'd gained momentum and confidence. And it was this realization that would propel her forward, into a future filled with possibility and promise. Imagine living life without the weight of excuses holding you back. It's a liberating feeling, isn't it? For Sarah, it was a reality she began to grasp when she finally understood the connection between her mindset and her actions. She realized that the excuses she made were not just random phrases, but rather a reflection of her own self-doubt and lack of faith in herself. As she delved deeper, Sarah discovered that our mindsets are the primary drivers of our actions. They influence our thoughts, our feelings, and ultimately, our decisions. And when we are not careful, our mindsets can become trapped in a cycle of negativity, causing us to make excuses for everything from missed deadlines to failed relationships. But here's the thing, taking ownership of our goals and desires is the key to breaking free from this cycle. It means acknowledging that we have the power to choose our actions, and that excuses are nothing more than a cop-out. Sarah learned this the hard way, when she faced a major setback in her career. Instead of making excuses, she chose to own up to her mistakes and use them as an opportunity to learn and grow. As she did, Sarah noticed a significant shift in her motivation and productivity. She felt more focused, more driven, and more empowered to tackle challenges head-on. Her no-excuses attitude had become a mindset, one that propelled her towards her goals with renewed energy and purpose. And as she looked back on her journey, Sarah knew that this was the secret to living a life without the weight of excuses holding her back. Not just a feeling, but a reality. But what about you? Have you ever felt held back by excuses? What's holding you back from achieving your goals? Take a moment to reflect on this, and remember that the power to change lies within you. With a no-excuses attitude, You can break free from the cycle of negativity and unlock your true potential. The question is, are you ready to take the first step? Imagine living life without the weight of excuses holding you back. It's a liberating feeling, isn't it? For Sarah, it was a reality she began to grasp when she finally understood the connection between her mindset and her actions. As she reflected on her past experiences, she realized that excuses were often a desperate attempt to avoid taking responsibility for her choices. She remembered a time when she'd been offered a promotion at work, but had turned it down due to fear of failure. At the time, she'd convinced herself that it was because she wasn't ready, but in reality, she was simply afraid of taking a risk. This pattern of behavior had become all too familiar, and Sarah knew she needed to break free from the cycle of excuses. So, she started small. She began to challenge her own thoughts and behaviors, asking herself tough questions about what was holding her back. She discovered that her excuses were often rooted in a deep-seated fear of uncertainty, and that by facing this fear head-on, she could overcome it. As she worked through this process, Sarah started to notice a significant shift in her attitude. She was no longer held back by the weight of excuses, and was instead empowered to take action towards her goals. As you reflect on your own life, I want you to ask yourself, what excuses have been holding you back from achieving your dreams? Is it fear of failure, fear of success, or something else entirely? By the end of this video, you'll understand the root cause of your excuses and have a clear plan to overcome them. But for now, let's keep pushing forward, shall we? Sarah stared at her reflection in the mirror, a mix of frustration and disappointment etched on her face. Every time she thought about pursuing her dreams, a wave of fear and self-doubt washed over her, convincing her to make excuses. I'm not good enough, she'd tell herself. I don't have the right skills. But deep down, she knew it was just a facade hiding her true concerns. The real question was, what was holding her back from taking the first step? Was it fear of failure, fear of success, or something else entirely? The more she explored her thoughts, the more she realized that her excuses were just a symptom of a deeper issue, a lack of self-awareness. By acknowledging her own fears and doubts, Sarah began to see that she wasn't alone in her struggles. We all face similar challenges, and it's how we respond to them that defines us. So, the real question is, are you willing to confront your own excuses and take control of your life? As Sarah continued to grapple with her self-doubt, she stumbled upon a TED Talk by a renowned motivational speaker. The speaker's words resonated deeply with Sarah. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. But what if she didn't know what she loved? The thought sent a wave of panic through her mind. She had always assumed that if she was good at something, she would love it, but now she wasn't so sure. Sarah's mind was filled with questions, but she knew she had to start somewhere. She began to explore her interests, trying new hobbies and activities, hoping to stumble upon something that sparked a sense of purpose. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of her journey towards discovering her true passions and building an unstoppable mindset.